Welcome to California in Focus. I'm David Mastio, and today we're talking about a welfare program just for the bi in BIPOC. Joining me today is the Center Square's Kenneth Schrupp, our California reporter. Kenneth, tell me what's going on in Sacramento, is it?
That's right, David. Sacramento County is creating a new unrestricted cash welfare program. Unrestricted in the sense that you can spend the $725 a month however you like, but it is highly restricted. You do have to be one of 200 selected low-income parents or guardians of children between 0 and 5. But those children have to be Black or indigenous. If you are going on their questionnaire and you say that your children are not Black or indigenous, that is American Native or Alaskan Native, you will not be able to apply, and the questionnaire kicks you out and directs you to a large number of other social services already available.
Isn't that probably illegal?
Yeah, it's probably illegal. I did talk to an attorney from the Pacific Legal Foundation about it. They told me that the consideration of race in this case is problematic because the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution forbids the government from classifying individuals based on race and would be presumptively invalid unless it is remedying specific discriminatory acts by the government. The lawyer then said, that doesn't seem to be the case here. It is unclear what discriminatory laws or policies by Sacramento are causing disproportionate outcomes for low-income families that merits a discriminatory solution. That is, there's a way around having race-targeted programs. You're allowed to do it if it's targeting the result of a race-specific policy that was discriminatory. And so is there any evidence of a Sacramento County policy that led to worse outcomes specifically for, indigenous and Black children? I don't know. They didn't provide any justification, and I can't find evidence of any yet.
Why do they target Black and indigenous people then?
I read through their website, and the rationale for limiting access was disparities in the rates with which Black and indigenous children are more likely to have child protective services, allegations, investigations, and family removals. The county website said Black children were 4.3 times as likely to have a CPS allegation, 4.6 times as likely to have an investigation, and 4.5 times as likely to be removed from their family compared to white children, with the figures for indigenous children at 2.2 for allegation, 2.9 for investigation, and 1.8 times for removal. Other limits on the criteria that the website includes are living in a certain zip code in Sacramento County, having the child live with the applying parent at least half the time, a maximum annual income for a single parent with one child at $40,880, which is 200% of the federal poverty line for the area. That scales up with the more people you have in your household and the more children you have as well. And the applying households must not have already been participating in another guaranteed income pilot or program. Another thing I'd like to note here is that immigration status does not impact eligibility, and that families of any immigration status are welcome to apply. So as long as you have a child who meets the requirements, you would be able to apply for this program even if you're not legally in the country. The website also notes there's no conditions for how the money has to be spent. There's no conditions for actions participants must take other than doing the initial survey that takes about an hour, I believe it says, and that contractors for the government will be, quote, working with pilot participants and a subset of applicants who are not selected to participate in the pilot who volunteer to tell their stories about how receiving or not receiving the guaranteed income affects their families in order to contribute to research that informs expansion of guaranteed income as a strategy to support families.
Going back to the Child Protective Services part of our conversation, where they said that Black children are 4 times more likely to have a Child Protective Services investigation, are they maybe saying to justify this that in the past, Child Protective Service investigators have been racist?
I'm not really getting any sense of that from this. It does look like the difference in data is probably driven by higher increase in allegations for whatever reason. I don't know what the source of CPS allegations are. If the allegations arise from other members of the community, one would not think that is probably has anything to do with race. There is a chance that this could be coming from a more institutional setting. We just don't really know. And the website by the city doesn't make any claim of that. I would assume that if they could make any claim of that, they probably would. And in this case, they're not.
Kenneth, thanks for joining us today. Listeners can keep up with this story and more at thecentersquare.com.